Hello, our illusioned intellectuals. Welcome to another episode of the Pretentious Podcast. Just like all our discussions, we hope to ease your way through disillusionment. The spooky season is approaching, and with Halloween just around the corner, we bring to you something special. The guest we have today is the essence of American romanticism. The recent hit on the Apple TV show.
Cut to the chase, please.
The guest we have today is, drumroll please, Emily Dickinson.
Well, hello there, I suppose.
Hello, Miss Dickinson. Emily.
Emily is just fine.
Thank you so much, Emily. So, would you like to tell our viewers how you ended up here?
Yes, we are very curious to know about that.
Well, that means the two of us.
That seems reasonable.
So, Emily, well, for this particular podcast, we were coincidentally going to talk about you. And we were thinking of beginning with an introduction. But since you are already here, would you like to do the honor?
Well, sure, but there's not much to say. I lived a pretty simple life, though I was the middle child, so you can understand how that would go. Well, that's what my life was. People and poetry, and only the latter remained. I lost my loved ones early in life and then continued in solitude, and that's exactly where I found poetry. It became the essence of my soul and the bane of my existence.
I sense grief here. Can you please explain further how this experience of yours shaped your work as a poet?
After great pain, a formal feeling comes. The nerves sit ceremonious, like tombs. The stiff heart questions, was it he that bore? And yesterday, or centuries before?
People left, grief remained, and I realized that through poetry.
From the poet herself. After great pain, a formal feeling comes. I did an essay on this poem, and the way we've explored human trauma and suffering is just simply immaculate. And with that, I was able to understand the pain of suffering and the fear of loss, and it sent chills down my spine.
I didn't quite understand the chord's contentment like a stone.
Array, it means the.
Let me say, to lose someone is to turn to a stone. It's the process of crystallization, where all that you become is a sharp quartz going on about your life in a mechanical way, where the only thing you feel is numb. That is what grief does. It numbs you.
Now that we've talked about your life and here we've talked about grief and death, what do you feel about afterlife?
This world is not conclusion. A species stands beyond, invisible as music, positive as sound.
The world is not conclusion. You know, I really love those lines. Narcotics cannot still the tooth that nibbles on the soul. I just laughed my pants out. And I have to say, I've misquoted it a lot.
People suffer and they die. They wither away calling for wind. But alas, it is death that approaches. But yeah, that was quite funny anyway.
Well, on a lighter note, this podcast is themed Halloween after all. What are some of the other horrors that you've seen?
Well, for one, I've been in love. Oh, horror, horror, horror.
I cannot live with you. it would be life, and life is over there, behind the shelf. The sexton keeps the key to putting up our lives, his porcelain like a cup.
Well, the cup broke, as it always does, leaving the brooding dust of us. That is what love does. It breaks you. Susan was a dear and still is.
Your relationships have played a very important role in your poetry, right?
That is what poetry is, isn't it? A feeling, an emotion, an interaction, an expression. Susan arose in me such feelings that it spilled out on paper like blood out of a fresh cut. And it never stopped aching because, there's a painful wondering, knowing what could have been.
Absolutely. Amongst all this grief and loss, what brought you solace? What made you happy?
It was poetry. I mean, just because my poetry talked about grief, it doesn't mean it didn't make me happy. It was my creation. I shared it with people, gifted it to them, and the smiles on their faces were just enough to make my day. And I also enjoyed. Wow, it's been quite a long time since I've done all of those things. I really enjoyed gardening, how I wrote to my loved ones, the earth wrote love letters to existence through those flowers and trees that one couldn't help but admire.
So now it's time for the rapid fire!
Fire? Well,
No. It's just a misunderstanding. We meant the rapid fire segment, wherein you'll just have to answer questions.
Okay.
But just a question. Would fire harm you considering...
Well, that's a very offensive question to ask in the ghost world, but just because you asked, no, it would not have. And it was just my instincts.
Anyways, it's time for the rapid fire! So, the first question is, what inspires your poetry?
Well, it's difficult to pinpoint.
You have to answer quickly. That is what makes it rapid fire.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Mysteries of life and death.
Beaches or mountains?
Definitely my room,
Even during vacations?
especially during vacation.
How would you describe your writing style?
Intense.
If you were to have a superpower, what would it be?
Invisibility.
Okay, so the last question for today is, if you had an opportunity to do it all over again, would you?
Wow, that's a tough one. I don't think I would. There were downfalls, but without the life that I had, I wouldn't have been able to feel the wind on my face, the sweet scent of rose and the prick of the thorns. I wouldn't have been able to breathe love till it fills up my lungs and empties me in the suddenness of a heartbreak. The life I had, I lived well. Experienced the changing of seasons, the warmth and the cold. I have done all that I could with all that I had, and I'm at peace with myself.
With this, we have come to the end of this episode. Thank you so much, Emily, for sparing us your time to chat with us. We had a lot of fun, and we hope you guys do too.
Yes. And before winding up, is there anything else you'd like to say, Emily? Emily?